Now it's the time of reckoning. Will you find the perfect spot for a well, or will your town be the thirstiest town in the West? So go ahead and discuss this. Where will you dig a well? Look at all the information you collected and all the spots you crossed out. Choose your spot, write down your reasons, and name your town. Think carefully, this is your final choice. If you choose wrong, your town could become a ghost town. No one can live where there's no water.
All right, fill out that other half of your worksheet, wanted a well. And when you're done with that, go share on Flipgrid. So pause the video here, do those 2 steps, fill this out, share on Flipgrid, then come back and watch the rest of the video.
Say goodbye to Rivertown. Your team heads over the mountains with high hopes. It's exciting and scary starting a new town. Have you chosen a good spot? Will your town well be dry? If you paid attention to your research, you should find an aquifer right near the surface. Watch the next video to find out whether you chose wisely. So where did you decide to build a town? When the Mystery Science team analyzed where to dig a well, we used a process of elimination. That means we started by crossing out some spots we thought wouldn't work. First, we looked at the land shown on the map. Now, some spots, like A and C, were up high on a mountain or a hill. We thought about how water flows downward, going downhill and then soaking into the ground. We figured that if you start digging at a high spot, it would mean having to dig really deep down before you hit any water. So if you chose either A or C, we think your team will give up digging long before you hit water. Without drinking water, your team doesn't survive. Let's look at the other spots. After thinking about the land, you found out about the plants that grow in different spots. Since we're looking for a place with lots of water, we decided to cross out any plants that are adapted to survive with very little water. Bristlecone pines and Joshua trees don't need much water, and they grow in spots we've already crossed out. Cacti or cactuses don't need much water, so we crossed out spot G. Wildflowers don't need water year-round, they grow and die. But we want water all the time, so we crossed out F as well. So if you chose either F or G, your town is going to be a pretty thirsty place. If you made your town there, you don't survive. That leaves us with B, where pickleweed grows, D, where greasewood grows, E, where willows grow, and H, where palms grow. Finally, we looked at the soil in each spot, and that helped us narrow down our choices even more. In spot B, the soil was full of salt, and we know that people can't drink salt water and survive, so that spot is out. In spot D, the soil is salty and filled with poison. That's no good. So if you chose either of those, your town became a ghost town. Too bad. Spots E and H with willow trees, gravel, palm trees, and sand both looked good to us. Now I decided to dig by the palms, where I found good fresh water. My town got named Dougville. Get it? Dougville? Okay, that was bad. It has water year-round. My friend Amy decided to dig by the willows, which has water right near the surface. She called her town Willow Wash. The well never runs dry, and the town is thriving. Where did you decide to dig? Now, all of this you did today was an imaginary activity, but it's also a model of what has really happened throughout time. For most of history, getting access to fresh water has been such a problem that it has determined where we could even live and build cities in the first place. Just like the fictional city of Rivertown that was built on a river, all of the world's actual old cities were started near a source of scoopable fresh water too. The Babylonian city of Uruk was on the banks of the Euphrates River. Alexandria, Egypt was on the Nile River. Tenochtitlan, the ancient Aztec city, was located on the Lake Texcoco in Mexico. London, England, is on the banks of the River Thames. The fact is, if you weren't within pretty short walking distance of scoopable fresh water, for most of history, that meant you couldn't live there. I mentioned in a previous mystery, modern cities like Chicago or Cleveland in the USA, they're located near these giant lakes, the Great Lakes. So they have no problem getting access to fresh water. Today, though, people manage to live just about anywhere, not just near lakes and rivers. In fact, many people in the world do not live within walking distance of scoopable fresh water. So where do they get their water from? From water that's in the ground, from aquifers. In an earlier mystery, we saw how little of the Earth's water is fresh water. Now, though, when we also include the water that's found in aquifers, things don't seem nearly so bad. So many people can get fresh water from aquifers, water that's underground. They can build wells so that the water can be pulled up, whether by a rope or using a pump. Here you see them using a rope. This well is actually located in a desert, and yet they have fresh water down there. Water that can be used for drinking and for farming. Look at this. It's incredible. Aquifers are important for a lot of people. The water that came out of the faucets in my house when I was a kid, that was well water. It came from the aquifer under where I lived. The faucets in your home might have water that comes from an aquifer too. Try to find out. Ask around or search the internet. So, people get fresh water from lakes and rivers and from aquifers. Even so, could an aquifer ever run out of water? I mean, at some point, we're just going to slurp up all that aquifer water, right? That's a question we'll consider in a future mystery. Have fun and stay curious.